Welcome back. Schools across the country have officially opened their doors for the 2025 academic year. With nearly 700,000 pupils relying on scholar transport, concerns over safety have taken the centre stage. Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe Gwahube, recently met with the Deputy Minister of Transport, Nqatha, to address these pressing issues. In the Eastern Cape, parents are raising the alarm over the safety of scholar transport as Nqatha finds itself at the heart of a brewing transport dispute. For more on this, we are now joined by the Transport MEC in the province, Xolile Nqatha. MEC, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us. So there was this letter that was circulating telling parents that private scholar transport will not be allowed, and instead they should be taking their children to the local ranks that will then ferry them to schools. What does the MEC know about this particular letter, and have you been able to engage the Nqatha Taxi Owners Association?
Good morning, sir, to you and to your viewers. Indeed, we are aware the letter was brought to my attention by concerned citizens in the area. And I've subsequently directed the officials to engage with the taxi industry. There are ongoing engagements. But the security cluster, which involves the police, the provincial traffic and the municipal traffic, have put in place plans to try and ensure that no one is able to violate the rights of citizens for a freedom of choice in terms of mode of transport. And people in the taxi industry, they know very well, as far back as in 2023, we issued Gazette regulations indicating the do's and don'ts, and that no one is allowed to hold roadblocks and offload passengers in the vehicles. And equally, we also ensuring that we also play our role in ensuring that both in public transport, including the buses that are frequenting the area, some of them with no proper papers. We have taken one off the road already, though it was from Nqatha, but we got it in Queenstown. Those are some of the genuine concerns that the people in the taxi industry they have. And also the other issue relates to people who operates on the routes without having the permits. And those are issues that we are attending. But none of us have a right to take the law into our own hands. We appealing to them to cooperate with the authorities. If they have got a consent, yes, that matter has been brought to our attention, but they have no one besides the police and the soldiers, authorized officers, have a right to hold roadblocks and offload people. At the same time, parents would make a decision to transport their own kids, or parents in an area make arrangements to have a contract with one of the vehicles. They have a right to do so, and therefore no one has a right, therefore, to offload them and deny them that right, that freedom to transport their own kids. That include the people in the taxi industry. They have no right to force people to use their own vehicles.
So is MEC saying that there is legitimacy to their claims that some of the transport operators that are transporting these children do not have the necessary documentation and permits, including the PDPs, to be transporting children? Is that what the MEC is saying?
No, not on that one. That does not apply on scholar transport. It applies particularly on long distance, sort of routes. We know that there are buses who are operating in the province using one permit for more than 6 buses, traveling in routes that are not authorized according to their own permits. That then sort of flood the province with many buses, and therefore taking away business from the taxi industry. That is a concern that we are attending to. And as it relates then to scholar transport, and there is no persons other than those people who have got their own contracts, or other than Walter Sisulu University having their own buses, where University of Fort Hare having their own buses, Maibuye Transport Corporation, which is owned by government, and Alcoa Bus, which is a private company. Those ones, they have got permits to operate, and we do not expect for anyone to deny them that right to operate. And that is why we're acting on the things that we think that are genuine concern. But as it relates to scholar transport, parents are allowed to transport their own kids.
What are the genuine concerns, MEC?
The genuine concerns, for instance, would include delays, particularly in that area, in the payment of those who are already in the scholar transport. Monies that are owed for the November month, including October. All other districts have been paid, and the only outstanding payments are in that area in OR Tambo, which is owed to delayed caused by internal systems in the Department of Transport, but at the same time, some have delayed in submitting invoices, which has impacted then in the processing of invoices. And, it's something that we're working very hard to resolve, because no one must do work and not get paid for that work. For all of us, we get paid for working, and therefore it's totally unacceptable for some of them not to have been paid by now. But I can assure them that more than 60% of the outstanding invoices have been paid, and the team is pushing very hard to just ensure that all of them are paid going forward.
So how much is outstanding? What's the amount that is owed to the operators?
The amount owed was about 29 million in total. As I speak today, about 19 million has been paid already to various operators. The team is working very hard to pay the outstanding amount.
So does the department then say that it actually needs to take responsibility and accountability for the frustration that has led these taxi operators and taxi associations protesting essentially and saying that instead of parents trying to opt for other transportation, that they must still use the taxis instead?
Well, the department does take responsibility. As I say, that it is government policy that service providers must be paid within 30 days after they have submitted an invoice. And in some cases, people delay in submitting the invoice, but in other cases, people have submitted invoices in time, and therefore it's totally wrong for them not to have been paid. And the acting HOD, the HOD of the department is working very hard to get that attended to.
Why weren't they paid, MEC?
It'll be owed to a number of things. Remember, this was a sort of a shutdown period, and therefore there will be prescribed time in terms of the processing, in terms of the system of government. It then shuts down earlier in terms of the system that is linked to National Treasury, and therefore invoices would not be processed in time because of those reasons. Other invoices were submitted late.
So it's not a case of not having money?
No, it's not a case of not having money, not at all, sir.
Okay, so the other issue around this then is the safety for the learners. And I understand what you're saying, that working with the local police, working with the Metro Police as well, and other law enforcement agencies. But how do you assure a parent that if today, this morning, you decide to organize your own transportation to take your child to school, that your life and the life of your child will not be in danger?
That is why we're calling upon parents, to bring their vehicles to various testing stations of the provincial government so that we can inspect their vehicles for free and then draw to their attention whatever weaknesses, whether it's about tires that the vehicle might have. It is in the deepest interest of all of us that
sorry, MEC, I'm asking in relation to the threat coming from the Nqatha Taxi Owners Association, that what if the lives of the children as well as their parents become in danger if they do not heed the call that is made in that letter, that they should go and use taxis and not organize the alternative transportation?
The law enforcement officers are on the alert to ensure that citizens are protected and no one, violates others whilst they assert their own right. Nothing can justify a violation of other citizens' rights, no matter how aggrieved you are as a citizen. We must follow due process. We must obey rule of law. And those of us who are in position of power have got a responsibility to attend to genuine consent with speed to ensure that people are not inconvenienced unnecessarily. And that is what we determine to do.
Okay. As the schools also open, MEC, the issue around safety being very important. And last year, you and I had spoken at length about cases of extortion in the Eastern Cape. As the schools open today, would you say that schools are much safer and the concerns and the threats around extortion being faced by schools have been dealt with?
Yes, we did receive a positive feedback, even from the MEC Guard, when he was announcing the results yesterday at the ICC. He commended the role played by law enforcement officers in the province to provide security for exam centers, for marking centers, and for schools. And appreciating that the collaboration and integrated way that we sort of implement in the province is beginning to bear fruit. Even this whole issue of extortion, having launched last year, the extortion toll-free, it has worked very well in terms of ensuring that people report and the police are able to act swiftly. And all we're calling is cooperation from all role players and community members to bring forward whatever information that might have to possible wrongdoers out there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some people who left school last year, went on to holidays, will not be returning this morning because they may have lost their lives in some of the road accidents that have been taking place in the country. How's the province looking this year for the festive season?
The picture looks very worried, in the province, having increased, though the minister will make the official announcement of statistics by next Monday. But we already know now that we are above, the number of fatalities last year, having succeeded to reduce fatalities last year. This year, in the last season, the province has performed quite badly, owed in the main to reckless driving, driver behavior in the main, people not obeying the rules of the road. And those are some of the main issues, including drunken driving, that has increased the number of fatalities in the province, which means, therefore, that going forward, the year round, beginning this January, we have got to roll out a plan to ensure that we heighten road safety and awareness. For road safety is each and everyone's responsibility, because some of the deaths we have had as a province over the period could have been avoided had people obeyed the rules of the road, and those who were driving long distances to take some rest in between, along the road, as some of the accidents have been caused by fatigue. Those are some of the issues that are worrying. Of course, the national department, including our own observations, we do note the quality, of driving in the province. I would argue that in the country, which requires that we put in place measures to ensure, that the quality, of our own training centers is attended to, so that which is, a product of those centers, once people have passed their learners and driver's license, at least, they must be able to take necessary measures for their own safety and the safety of other road users.
Okay. MEC, can you confirm what the last death toll was for the last festivities in terms of fatalities?
In the last one, it was about 221.
221.
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
Yeah, so the latest figures which will be announced by the Transport Minister will be higher than this particular figure?
Will be higher than that figure. That's the concern.
Okay. Thank you so much for making time for us, MEC.